Are you struggling to forget the contents of books you've read almost immediately? Do you want to end the feeling that the time you spent reading was wasted? The answer is simple. Stop reading by just moving your eyes across the page. Read while asking questions. Why does that work? This slide explains everything. You're reading books every day right now. But do you remember what you read a month later? Most people don't. That's not a problem with your ability. It's a problem with your method. Passive reading means doing nothing but moving your eyes across the text. Your brain looks like it's processing information, but it isn't actually locking it into memory. Active reading, on the other hand, means reading while asking questions. By recalling and explaining things yourself, information gets engraved into long-term memory. This isn't just a feeling. A comprehensive meta-analysis of learning methods published by the Association for Psychological Science in 2013 confirmed that retrieval practice and spaced learning are the most effective learning techniques. SQ3R is a system that integrates exactly these two principles into reading. And this is achievable. Before you open a book, start by scanning the whole thing. Next, turn the headings into questions. That alone will transform your reading. Today, I'll show you the scientific evidence behind this. Why do you forget what you read? The answer lies in brain science. When you read a book passively, information enters your working memory. Working memory is your brain's workbench. It has limited capacity, and information doesn't stay long. As Ebbinghaus's 1885 memory experiments demonstrate, without review, information is rapidly lost within a short period of time. However, the speed of forgetting changes significantly based on how meaningful the material is and whether you review it. Meaningful sentences are harder to forget than meaningless words learned by rote. Still, if you do nothing, most of what you've read will fade within a few days. The issue isn't whether the material is hard to remember, it's whether you're making your brain process it deeply. What does active reading do? It activates the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the command center for deep processing. By questioning, thinking, and structuring, information is transferred into long-term memory. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience also showed that actively processing information activates the prefrontal cortex and promotes memory consolidation. The amount you retain from reading the same book changes fundamentally. This is the foundational reason why the SQ3R method works. Now let's go through the 5 steps of the SQ3R method. This is the system that will transform your reading from the ground up. Step 1. Survey. Before you start reading, first scan the whole book. Quickly scan the table of contents, headings, figures, and summaries, these 4 elements, in about 2 to 3 minutes. Why is this important? To build a map in your brain. A journey without a map is wandering. With a map, you can read while predicting what comes next. A brain that reads with predictions actively processes information. Step 2. Question. Convert each chapter's headings into questions. If you see a heading called The History of SQ3R, ask yourself, when, who, and why was SQ3R created? This conversion switches your brain into answer-seeking mode. A psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect, the tendency to fixate on unfinished tasks, means that creating a question can naturally draw your attention toward finding the answer. The moment you form a question, your brain starts searching for the answer. Step 3. Read. This is where you actually read the text for the first time. But don't just read. Read while searching for answers to the questions you created in Step 2. Because your purpose is clear, your focus naturally lands on the information you need. You get faster at deciding to skip irrelevant information. This is the mechanism behind reading speed improvement. Step 4. Recite. After finishing a section, close the book. Then ask yourself out loud, what was the answer to what I just read, and put the answer into words. Speaking out loud adds a generate and output process that can make things easier to remember. If you can't answer, read it again. This active recalling is the most consistently supported principle in learning science. Step 5. Review. After finishing all the chapters, take one final look at everything. Go through the questions you created. and check whether you can answer them. Summarize them in notes. Identify your weak spots and recheck them. This closing process locks your memories in for the long term. This is the system Francis Robinson proposed in his 1946 book, Effective Study, which was adopted into university education across the United States. What matters most is reading while creating questions and recalling and explaining Recite. These two are the core of the SQ3R method. Let's deeply understand survey and question, the first two steps. These are the most overlooked and the most important steps. How do you begin reading a book? Most people open the cover and start from the first line of chapter 1. That is the biggest mistake. Let me show you exactly how to survey. When you pick up a book, first scan the table of contents for 1 minute. Next, read all the major and minor headings of the chapters you plan to read. If there are figures, read their captions. If there's a chapter summary, read it first. This gives you the full picture in 2 to 3 minutes. Why does this work? The brain is designed to understand from the whole before the parts. Reading with a map of the whole versus reading without one creates a fundamental difference in the quality of comprehension. Now, on to question. When converting headings into questions, use these 3 patterns. The definition type. What is tilde? The cause type. Why does tilde happen? The method type. What is the method for tilde? With these 3 patterns, you can turn any heading into a question. Now let me introduce a powerful modern weapon. Just paste the table of contents directly into an AI and say, create 5 important questions about this book. UNESCO's 2023 guidelines for educational use of generative AI. I also recommend using AI to create questions. This drastically lowers the barrier to creating questions. Especially in fields you're not used to reading, this AI approach becomes a major weapon. Let me reveal the science hidden in the last 2 steps, recite and review. Why do you close the book and speak out loud in recite? Most people try to remember by reading the book again. This is rereading. But rereading is extremely inefficient for strengthening memory. There's a more powerful method. It's called retrieval practice. The act of pulling information from your own memory with the book closed is what strengthens memory. It's the same principle as strength training. Muscles grow stronger through use. Memories grow stronger through retrieval. A 2006 study by Professors Roediger and Karpicki at Washington University, published in Psychological Science, showed dramatically higher memory retention 1 week later in the testing group compared to the rereading group. In the experimental data, the rereading group retained around 40%, while the testing group showed a retention rate of 61%. The size of the effect varies by conditions, but the principle that the act of recalling strengthens memory is repeatedly supported by many studies. As for speaking out loud, MacLeod et al. 2010 research suggests that adding the process of generating and outputting verbally can be advantageous for memory. Next is review. Don't let your final review become a casual glance over. Timing is critical. According to a 2008 spaced learning study by Cepeda et al. In Psychological Science, a review design that gradually widens the intervals between sessions is effective for long-term retention. As a general guide, the first review within 24 hours of finishing, the second review 1 week later, the third review 1 month later. By widening the intervals this way, you can design a review schedule suited for long-term memory retention. Use questions here too. Can I still answer the questions I created during the question step of this book? If you can't, recheck only those sections. You don't need to reread everything. Only reinforce the weak spots. That's efficient review. You understand the theory. So what, specifically, do you do starting tomorrow? Let me show you the practical schedule. In the first 5 minutes of picking up a book, complete survey and question. Survey. Scan the table of contents and headings, 3 minutes. Question. Convert each heading into a question, 2 minutes. These 5 minutes determine the quality of the remaining reading time. While reading, perform recite after finishing each section. Close the book and say out loud, what was the answer to the question I created for the section I just read? Writing out the answers in a phone notes app or on paper is ideal. Perform the first review on the same day you finish reading. Go through all the questions you created and check whether you can answer them. It takes 15 to 20 minutes. The second review 7 days later. The third review 1 month later. 10 to 15 minutes each is enough. There's one more thing I want to share about your reading environment. When reading a book you want to understand deeply, use a physical book if you can. A 2023 meta-analysis by Altamura et al., published in Review of Educational Research, shows that physical books have an advantage over digital for reading aimed at deep comprehension. The combination of a close reading method like SQ3R and a physical book is especially compatible. You might be thinking this. Doing this every time is a hassle. But think about how many books worth of content you actually remember from your current reading habits. If you've read 5 books and don't remember even one book's worth, deeply engraving one book with the SQ3R method is overwhelmingly more valuable. Reading is not a waste of time. It's a strategic act of learning. Change that strategy, starting today. Now let's organize the key points. Your Reading Revolution Action Plan. Take these 3 points home with you. First, invest the first 5 minutes before you start reading. Just spending 5 minutes on survey and question puts your brain in a completely different mode when it starts reading. If converting headings to questions feels difficult, hand the table of contents to an AI and have it create the questions. These 5 minutes determine the efficiency of the rest of your reading time. Second, close the book every time you finish a section. Say the answer to the question out loud. You don't have to answer perfectly. The act of trying to recall itself is what strengthens memory. This is the power of retrieval practice, repeatedly proven by learning science. Third, put 3 review sessions in your calendar. Same day you finish the book, 7 days later, and 30 days later. Entering those 3 appointments in your calendar right now is the only action that keeps memories alive long-term. By widening the intervals, the benefits of spaced learning are maximized. And now, ask yourself this. Could you explain the content of the books you read this month to someone else today? If you're not confident, you have a chance to upgrade your reading method. The next time you read a book, try SQ3R for that first read. Share your results in the comments. Your insights, your changes, your questions, all of it becomes the wisdom of this community. Thanks for investing your time in mastering this today. This channel takes reading and learning systems grounded in learning science, like the SQ3R method, and delivers them in a concrete, immediately actionable form. Not theory, but practice. Not intuition, but science. This channel is designed to drive your growth. Subscribe and level up your knowledge together next time too. Turn on notifications, and every time a new video drops, your learning efficiency goes up another level. See you in the next one.